I'm Courtney. I'm the Assistant Project Manager on Storm the Teacup. The event kind of came from the idea of culture and food and how we can look at heritage in a different way. So Sienna, originally our archival assistant, brought the kind of themes to us, and we decided to grow on that and expand it and use that as a way to connect with the wider community.
My name is Leo Bertin. I'm both an artist and an academic, and the way that I do academic research is through creative practice. And one of the reasons why I'm here today is because that creative practice often looks a lot more like people having a dinner party than university people doing research or artists putting on a show of any kind of description. I think bringing people together over food is a really good way to have really complicated conversations for a number of reasons. The first one is very simple, which is that everyone has food at some point in their life. And so it's a format, it's a way of interacting that everyone's familiar with regardless of their background. And even if you don't get anything else out of the interaction, you leave nourished in some way, which is obviously really brilliant. But I think what's also really special about it is that actually having food with other people is not always about having fun together and having a good time. There's also this kind of possibility for conflict or disagreements. You can think about any family event where you shared food with someone and had a difficult conversation. But somehow when we do that over food, we go beyond just the kind of purely arguing for the sake of argument, and we tend to be a little bit more productive. So I think that's one of the things that makes having challenging conversations over food really special.
I'm Natty from Natty's Kitchen. We were a food business. I guess we're mainly a restaurant now, but it's more than that. I realized how powerful food was, like what we've been here today talking about. In way of being part of a community, we came to realize that food could be used for more than just filling people's bellies, really. It can be for getting people together, getting over hardships and making people feel good. I mean, you think we've had a lot going on. We've had COVID, cost of living crisis. We've had people that have struggled, austerity. We've had everything. And it's just a way of offering an escapism. And I guess that's why I struggle to say, not a food business we do. We're trying to give you an experience, and that's what I would like to think. That moment, that time you spend with us, you had an experience, and it's something that made you feel good at the time. So hopefully it's something that will always make you feel good. Just take you back to that happy time.
My name is Shamila. I'm one of the co-founders of a charity called Portsmouth City of Sanctuary, and it's a charity that supports local refugees and asylum seekers. Last year we won funding where we launched our Kitchen of Hope project, which is essentially asylum seekers coming together and cooking food. We would cook dishes from all over the world, Ethiopian, Syrian, Iranian, and we're proud of that project. It's fed over 2,000 people. I think food automatically breaks down barriers and it overtakes emotion. So you can't stay angry if there's a good plate of food in front of you, right? And as human beings, it also creates a human connection because feeling hungry, it doesn't matter which color skin you are or which sort of accent you have. You get hungry, I get hungry, but also it makes people curious. It makes you start asking questions about where the food is from, what sort of ingredients, and that then helps people to open up about their culture and heritage. And it makes people accepted more, and it also creates a diverse community. And I think today showcased that a lot. It created a very safe place very quickly.
Most people, when you're growing up, even if it was to watch football as a kid, and after football, you'd go by the fish and chip shop and you put lashings of salt and vinegar, and it shouldn't work, but guess what? You had a really good time. And every time you eat a salt and vinegary chip, it kind of, it's just potato and oil. But we sit there and we're like, this is great. And that's, I think, why it then works, why people getting together, eating food, and then you all feel like you've got something in common as well. The defenses are dropped. You forget all of your woes for that time, and you just get involved, don't you?
One of the reasons that food brings people together and is something that resonates is because it's a deeply personal thing that you often share with others. And because by ingesting the same food as other people, you become a little bit more like them. You're having the exact same experience as another person. And so there's a kind of bridging to our understanding of each other that happens in that moment, I think.
I remember when my sister passed away, food was central. The mourners would be bringing food to us. And that food was like a sense of comfort. They didn't say a lot, but they brought a lot of food. And also vice versa, when I got married, food was central to that. It gives you a sense of belonging and identity.
Things that need to be challenged, it's better to do it over food. That then goes in hand, helping to create and maintain diversity by breaking bread together. And what better way to understand somebody else's culture? Why not do it over food? If you then listen to the story of, why are you feeding me goat meat? Well, because that's what we had in Jamaica at the time, and we curry it because in Jamaica it's a mix of cultures. The Indian indentured servers brought sacks of curry, and they taught the Africans that were now on the island how to curry their meat to preserve it for longer. Now, I've just told you a story while we're eating really good curry goat. Now you've understood a bit more of my culture, a bit more of my history. And I've said it to you in a way that I think is more palatable than me standing there going, guess what, I was a slave, I was a this, I was, do you know?
I think it's a really low stakes way for people to engage with you. It's really hard and it's really scary to ask people to come to a space where they don't know what's happening and come and talk about their feelings. And when we have food to do that, it just makes it easier. I think when you have a funeral or you have a birth or a birthday, the thing you remember a lot of the time is the food you had, the conversations you shared. So using that as a building block. It's really hard to know what stake your community will have in it, especially as this is something we're starting from the ground up. And it just felt like everyone came in and they were really invested. And the biggest takeaway was just how much connection was built and how much people wanted to share and how much community was kind of established in such a short amount of time. Because we all eat, right? Like, it's something we all take for granted. We don't think about, we all eat and we all prepare food in different ways and we all take part in it. And whether we eat that on our own, if we eat that as family and community, it's something that's easily accessible and we all know how to do. And it takes that level of fear off of having to come and be prepared. You just get to come and enjoy the space.
I'm leaving here feeling a sense of pride that, once again, this is why I love Portsmouth and I'd always want to live here and bring my son up in the city and also have him trying dishes, but also him remembering the dishes I cooked and then him passing it on and having that sense of belonging, understanding and acceptance in the city.